Good afternoon and welcome to a live edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast as we do it every Tuesday with this fine gentleman. Yes, Alan Zlotorzynski with Brevard Sports Network, and he's joining me right now here in the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call him today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, Alan. There's a part of me, I know it's a holiday week. I was like, you know what? It's kind of slow. There's World Cup. Maybe we could take the week off. No, I want to talk to you. This is very important. And I want a professional on who's lived here in this community for a long time, does an exceptional job covering sports. So, Alan, how are you doing today? Just want to start there.
How do you think I'm doing, Mark? All right, let's just start right here because you knew when you asked me this question what I was going to say. First of all, your White Sox beat the hell out of my Orioles last night.
Yeah, good.
Way to go.
Keep it up, buddy.
I don't know if you saw my post on Facebook, but I turned the sliders down, the gameplay sliders down on MLB The Show, and I beat the hell out of the Yankees 55-7 and the Red Sox 35-1 just to take out. I mean, this is how unrealistic that is. Tyler O'Neill went 5 for 7 with 5 home runs. Tyler O'Neill had 5 home runs all year.
Well, Mr. Big Shot, why don't you go to some Little League park and go beat some 7-year-olds while you're at it, since you're such a big man? Okay.
It's gotta help.
You had to go to your safe space and play a game on easy.
I can't remember what movie it was where the guy goes, "I feel shame."
I feel it, yeah. You're like the Seinfeld episode where Kramer is doing karate against the 7-year-olds and beat him up. You are. You had to get yourself ice cream, and then you had to play your video game on easy. But you know what? You must have had a great time. Great time beating them Yankees. You love it.
And I even threw one in the ear hole of a couple of them. It
was
a good time.
So you played dirty as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
I like you beat up an AI computer. Good for you. Okay. Such a bully. All right. I did not want you on for baseball talk. I know. I want you on because I have comments. I'll read them off Facebook.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Here's the thing. Let's go over this timeline. So we knew a couple months ago that there were rumblings that there was going to be a new soccer team here in Melbourne.
Right.
And, and my dad was telling me also in Port St. Lucie through the USL organization, which is out of Tampa. So we've known this for a while. And I remember when I was in downtown Melbourne on St. Patrick's Day, which is a great event, they had a booth there and it was people with this where they're like, hey, if you want more information on this, go to this website or we'll tell you more about it. So we've discussed this for a while. So here's the update. Last Friday, Space Coast Rocket, all right, I'm going to say they posted a story and it said, here is the latest on this story of they're going to build an 8,000 seat privately owned soccer stadium in Melbourne by the Orlando Melbourne International Airport. That's what they're going to do. And it can expand to 10,000 seats. And Space Coast Rocket was all over it on Facebook, right? And the rumblings that I heard was that was not supposed to be released. And now ownership had to kind of scramble, release something. And you saw this yesterday where every single news organization from here to Orlando to Tampa released a story about 8,000 seat stadium. They're going to try to do this. It'll be ready by 2028. All this information, right? Right now, I am trying to get the ownership. I put in a request. I want to get them on. I want to get their opinion on this, right? I do, but this is why I'm having you on. I want to break this down with you as a guy that's lived here for a long time. And you've seen organizations work and fail when it comes to sports here in Brevard County. So I'm going to start with the easiest one. What do you think of this? Just your honest opinion about a 8,000 seat soccer stadium.
I love the idea of a stadium. Here's why.
Okay.
So 4 or 5 years ago, we go down to South Florida for 3 consecutive years, and we watch the Cocoa Tigers play in the FHSAA state championship down there. at a soccer stadium where, by the way, Lionel Messi now plays, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, a facility like this in Brevard County will, as long as John Bonner and Phil Rollins mean what they say when they say that this will be a multi-purpose facility, then this is a great thing for Brevard County. Okay? There's no way it can't be. If you look at the land surrounding the airport, there's nothing there. Okay? You're not destroying anything, right? I mean, I don't know if there's any, I don't know what the wildlife flight is like. I mean, I don't know any of that. But I'm saying from a standpoint of having an 8 to 10,000, multi-purpose stadium right here in Brevard County, it's a beautiful thing. You're obviously going to have the U.S. Soccer League, the United States Soccer League play there. And by the way, we've got a USL team. We got a men's and a women's USL team here in Brevard County. I actually broadcast their first 2 seasons here, if you remember, a couple of years ago. Now, they're not the top tier USL team. They were the Brevard Fire, okay? And I did 2 years of that program, of that franchise here in Brevard County. They played their games at MCC some nights. But getting back to the stadium, you could take a stadium like this, East Central Florida, obviously, I said the word central. It's in the middle of the state. I could foresee days where high school football championships will be played there. I can foresee days where high school soccer championships will be played there. So, yes, I'm excited about a stadium like this.
Okay. Here's the thing. And I was talking to my buddy TJ McMahon, who you're friends with and everything, and he loves the game, the beautiful game. If you're going to do this, and I'm with you, where this has to be for concerts, maybe for football games, all that stuff, you have to make sure. And I know this soccer league based out of Tampa is a real deal, but this has to be a long-term commitment where this team that you are creating for the men's and women's, this has to be a long-term commitment where this is going to work. You cannot build that stadium and then, oh, you know what? We tried it like it's the XFL, like in pro football. We're trying to, and then it goes for 1 or 2 years and this didn't work. And then this fails. And this has happened, right? This has happened here. We got a stadium in Cocoa that sits there and collects dust, right? We had the Pride for USSSA, right? It's a great facility. They sell out every single day with tournaments. Vieira High School plays there. It's great. But they tried to do pro softball with women. No one went out and did it. No one spent tickets. No, it failed. Things have failed. Orlando City Soccer Club teamed up with Eastern Florida. And they said, we're going to have our minor league team be here at the school. 1 year, it failed. It's failed here before. They've got to show, these guys in charge have got to show a commitment to the community that this is for real. And this is not a 2-year agreement. This has to be here for the next 30 years as a franchise.
You bring up a very good point. And it is why Brevard County is unique more than any other place I've ever lived. The point that you bring up, that you look at the Pride who failed, okay? When now I know you do, okay? But for the most part, all sports conversation in this county isn't about professional sports. It's not. And when you're talking about college sports in this town, right, you're talking about football. You don't hear much talk about other college sports. We'll talk UCF. We'll talk the Gators. That is a great point in terms of will this succeed? I can't answer that question because nothing like it has since I've been here or since you've been here. I can't answer that question. I can only counter with this. Soccer in Brevard County, it is the sport we excel at the best in this county. It's not football, it's soccer. Okay? This year I think we had 9 or 10 girls teams reach the FHSAA state tournament. We had 9 or 10 boys teams reach the FHSAA state tournament. We had a state soccer champion this year. I think we've had 16 girls teams, 13 boys teams win state championships. So when you look at the sport that excels the most in this county, it's soccer. And it's due in large part to, like a lot of these articles said, Mark, the phenomenal club programs we have. Space Coast does a terrific job. Beachside does a terrific job. I mean, there are probably 10 or 11 different clubs in this county for youth soccer, and they all succeed in their own way. And it's a beautiful thing because soccer in this county is very successful from a high school level on down to the youth. So that's the one caveat I would say that could make this work. There's your supporters.
Okay. There's so many questions for this conversation. So again, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
All right. So what they want to do, privately owned, put it by the airport, economic development. They want to build bars and restaurants.
I like that. Has to happen.
That all has to happen. It's got to be somewhere to go. Let's be on record as saying this. Downtown Melbourne used to be the place to go drinking and socialize, and it completely died after a while. All right, it did. Now the kids in their 20s, they're going to the O'Galley Art District. They're going to those bars instead. All right, they are. So the thing is, you build this. This is kind of like in Atlanta.
I was going to say that. Truist Park.
Yeah, so, hey, they used to be downtown. Now we're going to go. When I was in St. Louis, Busch Stadium, then what? They built all right. Wrigleyville. They want
Camden Yards just did a $600 million upgrade. And part of that upgrade was to make sure that the outside of the facility was like Truist Park with bars, clubs, and restaurants and shopping. If you're going to build a stadium now or you're going to refurbish one, the outside of that, what you put there and what you do to entertain those that aren't coming are as much of a part as what you do on the inside of that stadium.
It's a great point. And it's in Melbourne. It wants to be by the airport. And especially all those big, Harris, I can go on and all those big corporations that are right there as well. Hey, they'll buy all the skyboxes, the party suites, all that stuff. Not in Vieira. You know what I mean? Because my first thought is, hey, go out there. There's plenty of space, right? But no. This is going to be Melbourne's baby. We're going to put this here. And I think about, I think of today's economy, 2026, how everyone's struggling. And it's a tough economy. People aren't spending money. They're watching every dollar. But this isn't 2026. This is a long-term 2 years from now, 28. What is Melbourne and the Space Coast going to look like 2 years from now? That's what I think about in all of this. And look, we see restaurants, they're flourishing or they're dying. But hey, we're going to build all these bars, all these restaurants. Maybe there's a team store. That's why over the next 2 years, if you're planning this, you better do it right. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You better get a great team name. You better really connect with the local community. And that's a great point you bring up. You better get out to all these high schools and all these youth camps and all these parents and say, this is the team of the Space Coast. And we need your support. And the biggest thing, you better have free parking because no one in Brevard County wants to pay for parking. Not a single damn soul, including me. They ain't paid for parking. And two, it better be affordable for a family of four to go to this thing. You cannot, if you charge $35, you're dead. You're dead in the water. It's got to be affordable.
That's the fear too. I wanted to go see the Port St. Lucie Mets last week. I wanted to go see a couple of minor league baseball games last week. And,
$17 before tax. I know.
Yeah, it's not cheap, Mark. And,
no, nothing's cheap.
And it's it's like, you look at this is like, listen, I'm actually shocked. I think that this is to be commended in a way. This announcement about these soccer teams, and I think another thing that they're doing, or at least have said they are going to do, is that they're going to put a men's and a women's team in the stadium. So
yeah, they should.
I agree, and I think that's a good thing. But, I mean, compared to, I don't care what size the stadium project is, this thing's moving pretty fast, Mark. They just made this announcement about these teams in November of 2025, Mark.
Yeah. and they're ready to go.
Yeah,
Like
mean,
you said, hey, you brought up a great point where it's like, look, it's public record. They're putting in all these things with the city, the county, like they're making moves. And I love you bring up it's not just for a team, right? But the team is the centerpiece. This is what it needs to be. But you're right. If I am these guys, I go, you know what? I'm going to go steal the high school state championship games for football. I'm going to get concerts. I'm going to go big.
You have to. And you know what? Why can't O'Galley and Merritt Island play there on a Friday night? Or why can't the barbecue bowl be held there on a Friday night? Or why can't, Vieira and Rockledge play a soccer game there? If the student athletes in this community and their parents know that this is a facility that they may be able to see their kids playing in, they also, that's another plus.
You know what I think about is 10 years ago, they were discussing, all right, where are we going to put the manatees? Or should we have a Florida Tech football
There's another
stadium?
one that failed.
Florida Tech football should never have failed. It's such a joke. I like Florida Tech football. They played 10 years. They were always competitive. You called some of the games. They made deep playoff runs, and they just right when the pandemic hit, they said, we're not doing this anymore, right? Remember, they were discussing, hey, we're going to do a downtown Melbourne stadium, which is going to be for football and baseball. Everyone was excited, right? Beyond US1, and that failed. So that's my hesitation is I've seen things fail here. So I'm like, all right, are you for real?
We have, you mentioned the Space Coast complex up here. We've got I don't know if you're familiar with a college summer league baseball. They do it up north all the time. I can't remember where it is up north, but it's big. Lots of major leaguers, future major leaguers have played up there. But they have one here in Florida, and they play it over here for the month of June. And I got a call from these people about promoting it and trying to put some butts in seats and do this and do that. And then they ended up having to move down to Palm Bay to play at Palm Bay High School. So, yeah, Mark, there's a lot of you're up against it with success just based on the history of this county with projects such as this. And franchises such as this. You mentioned the Manatees, Florida Tech. I know that's college, but you mentioned the Manatees, Florida Tech, the Pride. I'm sure there's one or two others as well that did not succeed here. And I get it. The Manatees were pulled out in part because Major League Baseball wanted most of their teams, wanted most of the spring training facilities on the West Coast. But you still play minor league baseball on the East Coast down here in Port St. Lucie, down in Jupiter. So, yeah, the Manatees failed.
They did fail. Well, look, the Braves technically failed because they were at Disney and they didn't want to. I get it. Baseball got lazy. They just wanted everyone to be right by each other.
I'm talking about minor league baseball. I'm talking about once the spring training gets out of here and the Manatees took over. I used to go to a lot of Manatees games, Mark.
I miss it so much. I miss minor league baseball.
Dollar beer night. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You got to look, you have to do. Okay. You know what it's like? It's kind of like when Orlando City started. They did a phenomenal job at the beginning when they went to MLS. Like, hey, everyone's going to wear purple. This is going to be the team of Central Florida. We're really going to open our arms to the community. We're going to do it. And I've told you this before. MLS made a terrible mistake where they took that TV deal with Apple TV, where you had to buy Apple TV subscription, and then you had to get the subscription for MLS. Now it's out of sight, out of mind with MLS and Orlando City. It's terrible, terrible.
And they can't win.
And they can't. So you're right. It's terrible what's happened to MLS. You better make sure whatever you do, you've got to get this right. And are you going to put the games on local TV? Are they going to be broadcast on Brevard Sports Network? Are you, like you said, are you going to have, hey, we're going to have Merritt Island High School night, right? And are you going to bring on, this kid play, this, they always do this. oh, that kid was really good at Merritt Island. He played some minor league. Oh, he's going to sign and play for the team.
Well, that's what the Brevard Fire did. Okay, they were a lot of local kids who graduated high school here and were in college and came here to play for the summer. They did a lot of things. When we would go down there and broadcast those games, you would walk up. It was free this, free that, free this, free that. They really did a nice job promoting that. And we had a really good following on it on Brevard Sports Network. Now, where they screwed up, right, where this league screws up, is similar to what MLS did, okay, and going to Apple TV. This body of USL said, well, no more broadcast with local independent media outlets. You must run all of your broadcasts through NBC Sports Engine. And that was it. It was done. Nobody's watching it anymore.
Well, what I like, this what gets me very excited. I hope everyone hears this. I like a lot of pro teams now in the state of Florida. They're going to the over-the-broadcast free TV, which I think is because now I'm seeing the Marlins and
it was great seeing the Lightning play on free TV this year.
And I know, like the Miami Heat, they just got Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's going to be free in South Florida on So I am praying get the Magic on local broadcast TV. Get in front of as many eyeballs as you can at any time. That's what you need to stop. See, this is where I'm going to sound like an old man, right? I'm sounding like a man. I've about had it up to here with you need to download 17 different streaming apps, get all these subscriptions, download this QR code. It's like, just calm down. You got to make sure you can get in front of people, right? Hey, I tell you this for years. Now you got me going. The high school football state championship games should be on free over the broadcast television for the whole state to see, or at least like it's such a.
Don't get me started.
It gets me so pissed off. Where Alan does a great job where he's broadcasting all these games, and by the way, Alan has to pay for the right to call some of these games in the postseason. Right?
I have to pay for every one of them.
You pay for them.
Let me drop before you finish. Let me drop you a figure. Since 2019, Brevard Sports Network has paid the Florida High School Athletic Association $47,000, and now that's all sports.
Yeah,
we have paid $47,000 to broadcast a multitude of postseason sports. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, and then you get to the state championship game, then it's like, sorry, you can't broadcast it. So you're literally, look, dude, you do a great job. You turn into like a radio play-by-play of the state championship, and you do you really do. It's such a joke. Okay, just put the damn game on. So I want to say this. I want things to succeed. I can't stress this enough. Forget about, everyone says like, oh, well, Mark, are you Democratic? Are you Republican? I don't give a bleep anymore. I want to make sure that where I live is flourishing and people are flourishing in the right direction.
I agree.
I do. And I want to make sure we don't have anything like that here. We don't. Okay. So I want this to work. I do. I have questions. All right. So you're by the airport, right? You're going to have to get approval from the airport with the FAA, where you're going to have these gigantic lights at night. And then our airplane's going to, they're going to have to figure out.
It's going to be like Old Shea Stadium.
Yeah. You're my dad said that as well. When do you bring that up? So like, you're going to have to get that approved. All right. Melbourne police, right? Okay. You're going to have to like map this out, right? Are there going to be different roads you're going to build, right? All these things. Look, I think it would be exciting for this area, but you got to do it right. You can't half-ass this thing. You can't.
They have a tremendous group. Don't forget Adrian Heath is a part of this. Chris Gallagher. Yeah. They've got some really good guys who know what they're doing. I don't know that they succeeded Friday in letting this get out.
Okay. This is what's interesting. It takes two to tango. You can get the smartest minds in the room, and they can put up all the money they want, and it's a private thing. They're going to build it. You still got to get butts in seats, and that's one of the hardest things to do here in this county. It is. How can you get You got to make sure. And look, hey, you know this. All right, cat's out of the bag. You know this in Melbourne, Florida. If you've never been here before, here's what happens. We get a new chain restaurant. Oh, man, it's this new chicken place on Wickham Road. What happens? The day it opens, they got to get the Melbourne police out there. Everyone wants to try it, right? And the line's out the door, and there's all this traffic. Then 2 days later, after everyone tried it, then it's dead in the water where there's no one in the parking lot. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Just that's the thing. You're going to get butts in the seats for the opener, right? Can you keep consistently getting them to come back to spend money?
Well, I think, with anything today, the key for something like this is going to be marketing.
Yes. Okay, let's be real now. You could tell I'm not holding back today. Maybe it's because the air conditioning's broken here at work. Yeah, don't just show up and do some AI slop as your marketing team. Right. Okay? Jesus Christ. Please put the money into it.
Who's your marketing guys? ChatGPT.
Dude, you're at the card. Here's what's funny. So Anthony Knockreiner and I, your colleague, does a great job as a play-by-play guy. We went to the Melbourne Auditorium Saturday morning. So it was like Rocket Con, right? It was like a card show. So it's so interesting. Here's what's happened. There must have been like 50 vendors there, right? And good for them. Every single one of them made a table and a banner from AI. Every single person did. So nothing is unique. Everyone looks exactly the same. It's fascinating to see. And look, I get it. They don't have money. They don't have a graphic design degree. I completely understand. But it's just funny. Every single guy looks the same with the same AI logo. And like, it's fascinating. There was a real estate agent on Facebook. Okay. And I don't know if you know this. You ever been on Facebook? There's 10,000 real estate agents.
Oh, yeah.
This one guy, this guy's awesome. Here's what he did. He took a photo of a house, and then he drew on the photo, this house is 300,000. By the way, this was not made with AI. I was like, God bless him. I was like, you know what?
Look, I mean, you know what? That's funny, but if you are Space Coast Pro Soccer, these are the original things that you better come up with to put asses in seats.
All right. What's your team name? What are you going with? Rockets?
Ooh, no.
What are you going with? I think just Rockets. I would just go with that.
Rockets.
For soccer?
I guess you would have to, right? I mean,
so like Space Coast Soccer Club. Like, you do one of the Inner Melbourne. What is it?
The Inner Melbourne.
Real Melbourne.
You're next to Inner Melbourne, playing next to Melbourne International Airport.
First PSL, Port St. Lucie Soccer Club.
The Rockets, the Space Coast launch. I mean, I don't know. Something.
Well, yeah. Okay, so you like so something like launch.
Yeah,
like
Space
so we have
Coast launch, the rocket, the Space Coast orbit, something like that.
Something space. It has to be some space.
It's got to be something. I mean, isn't it always? I mean, our area
it has to be
3-2-1.
Yeah, we need to figure this out, right? But look, hey.
What's your
colors?
I hope it works. Are your colors purple?
Your colors?
What's your colors? Are your colors purple?
No. What would you? Oh, okay, okay. This is another great question. All right, so you got to come up with your team name.
I think you got to go with like a cool looking orange.
Or you're going orange
with a shady yellow and some blue in there.
Yeah, because you think like NASA,
right.
Just red, white, blue,
like fire and liftoff and the space.
So like a red.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What did you say? Orange and what?
Like
what did you
say? Orange with some sort of, I guess, a modern type of whatever the hell a modern yellow would be. But I like a blue, like a blue, or I don't know. But I mean, I think you got to be pretty flashy about it. You want to sell jerseys, right? Soccer jerseys and soccer scarves are the big thing in apparel, right? So you definitely better nail this.
Yeah, and then all right, let's say you're the Rockets. Then Kamai Classic Rock Station. Can we be out there since we're the Rockets?
Well, I
They'd
don't,
be like,
Mark. I got a feeling you're gonna be out there anyway. So what the hell difference does it make?
you know what? Look, if you're going to spend that much money, just build a dome stadium. I mean, just the hell with it. Make it super state of the art.
Here you go. All
Just
right,
make it all
these poor guys,
Might as well.
haven't
What do
done
you think?
enough by bringing a 10,000 seat stadium to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Mark Moses wants a retractable dome put on
Might
it.
as well. If we're going all out, let's keep going. Hey, now you're laughing. Now you're really laughing.
Oh man,
Hey,
I
I like what you said. Hey, go get that high school state championship game. Go get that.
Go get the high school state soccer championships. I mean, they play these high school state soccer championships. At a facility where you got to sit on metal bleachers. Bring it here.
Yeah. All right. At least okay. Do it like Hard Rock Stadium, where it's like it at least over the fans. It has like the roof over it, and then it's just open over the field. Do that. All right. Are you gonna laugh at that idea, or is that okay for you?
That's okay. You got to put people in shade, man. Put a retractable roof. Could you see that?
Yeah. Hey, might as well. Okay. What gets built first? That or the Margaritaville? What gets built? This. I'm gonna say this. This right. Well, it's like, okay, like at the port, they're talking about like, oh, we're going to build that aquarium. And then I saw some, oh, we're going to do the groundbreaking. Wait, what? Just look, I get it. It is beyond hard to build things. Okay. I completely, the loops and everything you got to go through to get this done. But yeah, I think.
What happens first? The completion of this stadium or the Tampa Bay Rays finalize a location?
Oh, they're never finalizing anything. Okay. And stop. And to all my Orlando media people, stop talking about the Dreamers. Just stop it. It's not going to happen.
No.
Just stop it after a while. Okay. It's just ridiculous. We have okay. Let me just say this real quick. We have two teams in this state. One of them, the Rays, is right there with the Yankees. That franchise spends no money, and they are right there, and they can't get people to go to that Trop. Yeah. The other one that's mind-boggling, I don't know if you know. I know you're watching the O's 24/7. That's your baby. The Marlins are right there for the division
I know.
in the East, and no one cares.
These two teams have no money, no players.
No money, no fans won't support them.
And you know what's wild? Right, I like the Trop. I don't think it's a hateful stadium. I don't. I mean, is it the prettiest stadium in Major League? No, but I don't mind the Trop. I mean, it's got to be replaced. They need a new stadium. But listen, the Rays, man. This is every year with these guys. They just, you got to chop their head off. They just keep coming back. Like every and it's funny because other Major League Baseball franchises, you don't see the Rays general manager, assistant general managers, or coaches getting hired, right? Because every year Major League Baseball seems to think it's a fluke. I mean, this every
year.
Hell, Mark, this has been going on for over a decade now.
Every damn year.
I know.
Every year. It's incredible. It is. All right. I'm going to read these off real quick, if that's okay. All right, let's go. And by the way, he's Alan Zlotorzynski, ladies, in case you didn't know. He's a fantastic gentleman. All right. He usually is clean shaven compared to me. I don't know how he does it, but he's a great man.
I can't grow any facial hair, but go ahead.
You can't grow. Okay, come on. I am a wolf man every 3 seconds. Okay. All right. Let's go to these comments. I want to read some of these to you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. If I can get this. Okay, here we go.
And we're reading the TikTok comments from your face.
No. We're not reading. No. This is a family show. All right. That'll be another one. Okay. All right. Scott writes, what is the end goal? I mean, I'm all in for it. It means we're going to have a local team to cheer for. But what is the end goal of all this stuff? Okay. Marissa writes, OMG, no. When I ask the question, are you excited about the possibility a stadium by the Melbourne airport? John, no, it's a waste of money. Michael, I'm not sure we can fill it like Orlando can.
We're
Depends
not.
on depends what it costs for a family of 4. That's what he's going with. John, another John. We cannot even support an art museum here.
Right.
What makes anyone think we can support a foreign sport like soccer?
Right.
Okay. Brian writes, realistically, they should repurpose the baseball stadium over in Cocoa. Plenty of space, easy access to 95 and 520, and it's vacant. That's
like that idea. Listen, I would say it's a waste of money if it were for soccer only.
Great point. Here's Alan. Not you, another one.
Right.
Be like every sports team that comes here for a few years, then leave a waste of money examples like the Manatees, Minnesota Twins training camp, spring game, all that stuff. Jennifer, I don't know. I'm going to go no. Why not build a water park? Not a bad idea.
Listen. I like Jennifer's idea, even though I can't get on the slides anymore. I like Jennifer's idea. Here's the thing. Every one of these people are right. Because we spent 20 minutes talking about the failures of the Manatees, the Pride. We even lumped Florida Tech football in there. Even though that was a school thing, they claimed they weren't making enough money. So these comments are right. That's why this has to be a multi-purpose facility. And listen, if it's not in use, what would you say to make this even remotely worth it for this community? How many days a year does this thing have to be in use?
Great point. It's a great point. I'll just say this, Patrick, one more, and then I'll answer your question. Yes, we need events. So, okay, so that goes with your, so good. That's a good comment, all of them.
We used to have the country music festival down at Wickham Park, which is a great thing. They stole that from us.
Okay, so remember, this is how stupid this thing is. So they had it at Wickham Park. Everyone loved it. Then they got cute and said, all right, we're going to Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? Orlando. And then after a while, like, oh, no, we're too good for Orlando. So they kept going west to Tampa. They had it in, what was it, at the Buck Stadium. Then they're like, oh, no, we're going to keep going west.
Well, didn't they hold it in Kissimmee 1 or 2 years as well? Yeah.
So they kept going west, where next year might be in the Gulf of Mexico after a while. They just keep going.
So how many days does this thing have to be in use?
Okay, great question. All right. This is what I like. So if you ever get a chance, you got to meet Lexi Betterman, who is the GM at Space Coast Stadium, Space Coast Complex. She does a great job, former Florida Tech softball player. They're having things 24/7, 365 to make money. And you're there. You're calling those games for tournaments, or you're calling via baseball or all that stuff. But every damn day, there is some team from the north that's coming down here. There's a tournament. There's Little League. You might have to do that as well. You can't let it just sit there for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Melbourne is obviously not a big city, not like that facility down in Miami where they held the state championship football games. To me, in order to make this work, I think you have to fill this thing 120 plus days a year.
It's like when I lived in Omaha, Nebraska, you had the College World Series. Okay.
I mean, when you say 120, how many events is that? You figure what? That's 121, 120, 225 events a year there. Is that possible?
I don't know. I was just going to say it's like
concerts and high school games, maybe championship tournaments for big youth soccer games with the soccer. I mean, is it even possible to do that? Cannot sit vacant 10 months out of the year. It can't.
That's what I was trying to say. Is like you look at the College World Series in Omaha. That stadium is used like 3 weeks out of the year, but they're making so much money that they could sustain not doing anything for the rest of the year. That's a great point, Alan. Can you do all these events to get that? Because they got to make money after a while. They have to. So I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to get more. I'm going to try to get the owner on this ownership group because I got questions for him. I do. And again, I am pro. Do it right. Make this place grow. And again, what do we have? 700,000 people in this county?
I think the citizens of this county have every right to be concerned about the history of what we've seen in the past. I think that's the biggest point against this. I think the biggest point for this is, can, outside of soccer, can they guarantee that the community will get substantial use out of this? And if they can't, if you're just going to play soccer and maybe 10 football games a year there, then
what's the point? What's the point?
It.
We'll just go to Vieira High School. What do we care?
It's not worth it.
And look, and here's it. You ain't getting Lionel Messi to come play here.
No.
This is minor league. I don't care what anyone says. This is like, it's going to be fascinating. So I'll just end with this. I hope my White Sox beat you tonight as well. I am waiting. Yeah, and I am waiting for Murakami to come back because I'm concerned he is really injured. I need his ass back at first base, and I am starting to believe. I know tomorrow is July 1st. It's a long way to go. I think my team can compete here for a deep playoff run, which again,
it's not like the American League. I mean, the Orioles, who are now 8 games under 500, are 3.5 games out of a wild card. That's how bad the American League is this year. So by the time the White Sox leave Baltimore and go home for the 4th of July, they were 5 games over. There'll be 8 games. They'll sweep the Orioles. This team is in a tailspin. I mean, it is halfway down the drain now. So they'll sweep the Orioles, and you'll be 8 games over 500. My only concern for you guys is I think if you truly want to win this division, in some way you have to be a buyer at the deadline.
Yes.
You're the youngest team in baseball. You need a veteran power hitting presence on this team.
They have the number 1 pick in the
Hey, I got like 3 of them. I'll give you off the Orioles.
I know. Look. They have the deepest farm system. They just keep bringing. They have the number 1 pick in the upcoming amateur draft.
They just can't make the same mistake a team like the Orioles made, who, remember, 3 years ago, for 4 years, had the best farm system in baseball. They were the Orioles did not fill in. This is the first, when the Orioles went and got Pete Alonso this year, this was really the first time they brought in a veteran presence leader to be with these young kids. But as it turns out, it looks like it might be too late.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I hope you have a very nice 4th of July.
You too, buddy. I enjoyed this conversation. I did. Yeah. I think it's important for the community. I love hearing people with their input. And, normally I disagree with 50% of the comments and agree. I mean, that's the way it goes. I agree with everybody's comments. I think these are all very valid concerns. And I think the people have a right to be heard.
Okay, bonus. Would you spend $3,000 to go to a soccer game?
Are we really doing this?
I would. You wouldn't even spend. Look, I'm not spending. Okay. The only situation I would take out a bank loan is if my Bears were in the Super Bowl. Like that's it.
I listen. I can't sit here and say I would pay to go see the Ravens play in the Super Bowl because I didn't back in 2013. Could have, but didn't. Didn't want to go. Yeah. I would take out a bank loan to go see the Orioles play in the World Series again.
Okay, all right. But even then, I don't think again, these World Cup tickets are insane.
Mark, insane. It is, some smart ass yesterday said on your TikTok video, tell us you're poor without telling us you're.
Look, another guy. Here's how troll people are. One said, "Shut up, Pinocchio nose," and I was like, "Really?"
I'm like, you know what? First of all, I wouldn't pay $3,000. I think I wrote the comment. The only way I'd pay $3,000. I'd pay $3,000 to see Holy Trinity play Vieira, right? Something like that. But no, that's ridiculous. And listen, I get it. It's the sport of the world. There are plenty of people out there who would do it. I'm just not one of them, Mark. And I sure as hell wouldn't pay $40,000 to see a World Cup final. I don't care who's in it.
Look, if I'm spending that much money, someone's scoring a goal. Okay? It ain't going to be no 0-0 for the love of God. Get your ass back out there and score a goal. Give me something.
No. no, I spent $3,000 on this. This ain't over.
This ain't over. For the love, you know what I mean? That's where the arrogant American comes out. Please, someone score. That's what I love. Okay, I'll just say this. This is what I love about our sports. You could be like LeBron James. You get out there, you score 35 points, but then you lose by 7. They're going to, you suck. You suck, LeBron. But like if you're in soccer, someone scores. If you just attempt a shot on goal, you're like, this guy's world class. This guy's amazing.
I was watching. I very, very rarely watch political shows, right? But I had to watch Bill Maher the other night because he had JD Vance on, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I watched it too.
So I wanted to see that one. And he had mentioned in there, and I wanted to ask you this question, okay? What? He made a joke in there somewhere about European people becoming addicted to ranch dressing. Now you've been to Europe many times, right? People visiting for the World Cup have become addicted to. You can't get ranch dressing in Europe?
It appears not. Okay. Look, they have, again, I tell you this all. Okay. They have fast food over there. They have McDonald's, Taco Bell, KFC. I've seen people in these restaurants, right? Okay. It's just the volume of food. Like they're not eating triple Big Macs. They're not eating that over there. So it's like when they see these things here, they're in complete shock. So you're in a major city. They have these pharmacies everywhere, but they're really small. They don't have like Walgreens or CVS, like which is all this inventory. And like we joked, they don't have Walmart or Sam's Club or Super
watching these people walk into these stores and their faces. They're like, Mar hit the, Mar. He just his humor sometimes. He says the lady goes, ranch dressing. I didn't realize ranch dressing was like crack. And Bill Maher goes, no, it's not. Your crack just sucks.
Dude, they have it's funny? They don't have Ford F-150s.
No, where are you going to drive them?
You don't. So they have they're just driving these Toyota Prius cars, because the roads are so small. So they're just driving those. And you know what they're not running around wearing sports memorabilia. They're not wearing how you're wearing your Ravens hat or
some of them aren't wearing anything at all.
No, they're not running. So it's funny, in England, the soccer match. All right, I'll wear the scarf. They'll just they're not.
I know.
Look, Americans, this is my favorite. You go to a theme park. What do people do? You go to Disney World, Universal. People will wear outfits. Let's say they're from Kansas. The whole family will show up to the theme park in Orlando, and they're all wearing Kansas Jayhawk shirts, proudly.
I am not a tourist.
I'm not. Yeah, do not. When you go overseas,
not a tourist.
Yeah, don't have the fanny pack. Don't have any of your American stuff. Don't do any of that. You got to blend in. Okay. But ranch dressing. So they must be at the Orlando airport or Miami airport just with gallons and gallons
of ranch dressing.
Chugging it. Okay. Chugging it. Hey, we're the greatest country in the world. Don't ever forget.
I mean, there's no.
We have everything. Hey, and we're the only country that is building offensive linemen. And don't you ever forget it. Okay?
We're building ranch dressing, young man.
Ranch. Do we need to do that next week? We're just going to chug the ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing, right. Each week we ought to have a challenge on here. Next week we'll start with drinking ranch dressing.
Okay. You meet some of these European fans.
Yeah.
And they're like, Alan, give me American food. What's would you give him a gigantic burger? Would you give them hot dogs? What would you, a big steak? What would you show them exactly?
I would think that, I believe since it was invented here, I would have to turn them on to some really good wings, man.
And are they super hot as well?
No, because I don't eat super spicy food. I wouldn't do that.
I like it.
I wouldn't do that to them, but I think you maybe take them to Buffalo Wild Wings, right? And get them some Buffalo Parmesan garlic wings or. That's American. I mean, I think I don't know if you can get those in Europe,
No, not like what we have here.
Right.
And then what you do is order like 40 of them and bring them to the table.
Oh yeah, different flavors. Yeah, I think that's what. If
That's
I were trying to a big pitcher of beer, yeah, I think that. Of course, ranch dressing and yeah.
And you when the food comes, you go, look, just a heads up. There's the bathroom over there. You're gonna need it. Okay,
Yeah,
you're gonna need them.
right. And take these Niprazole with you because you're gonna need them tomorrow.
Alan Zlotorzynski, Brevard Sports Network. Hey, have a great 4th of July.
Have a great 4th of July, my friend. Appreciate you, man.